Hey guys, so this is for those of you that were scheduled for 11:20 that I had to reschedule. That would be Donna, Sarah, Penny, Michelle, Chelsea, Lisa, Kelley, and Kathryn. So let me get your channeled reads out so that guys, you guys aren't waiting on me anymore. Just like the other ones, I'm gonna let you guys know that it's been an interesting day for me brain-wise. Nobody told me my makeup was shit. Anyway, it's been an interesting day for me brain-wise, and I've had some interesting eye twitch things going on and words that aren't working correctly, but just laugh with me and we'll go on. Here we go. Ready? All right, Miss Donna, you are first. Ready? So first thing, whenever I took the deep breath and I started focusing on your name and pulling in your energy, as I breathed out, it was like this beautiful, soft baby pink just kind of came over like that. So I don't know if you've been seeking a peaceful place lately or what's going on, but that was it literally was just like this. As I took the breath out, it came down and just like that. It was fantastic. So that's all I can see is the pink. So let me say this. To me, that symbolizes you in search of that. Like you just need that let's wash over you kind of pink, calm, peace, chill. But at the same time, it's tattered at the bottom. So I feel like you actually already have this, but you don't recognize that you have it. I feel like, well, let me not say I feel like. The way that this looks at the bottom, everybody's peace and happiness gets tattered. And we all get caught up in the moment. We all get caught up in the now, and that I don't have this or I don't have that or whatever. We compare ourselves to other people who appear to be super happy either online or to our face or whatever. They're not. They're just like us. Everybody has their own happiness, their own happy place, their own peace. But we forget about it because we're too much in competition with other people, and we don't need to be, because they're not us and we're not them and never will be. So the next thing that I saw was black fur. And then that turned into a bear. And it's funny, but like there's the bear, but like I keep seeing the shape of a dog. And it's not like a specific dog. It's just the shadow, the shape of a dog in the bear. It's interesting. This is a soul you haven't met yet. There's someone who comes across like a bear, but they're really just an interesting, I don't want to say puppy, but I don't want to say dog because that just sounds bad. They're just an interesting dog type soul inside, if that makes sense. And then I see yellow lights, like it's almost like a necklace, but it's light. Does that, I don't know if that makes sense. It's like if you had yellow beads, like there's a big one in the middle and the rest of them come up like that, but they're light. But I just see it floating. It's just floating. So here's my question. Well, it's not really a question because it's not like you can answer because this isn't live, but I'm curious if you've been seeing lights lately around people and just have been afraid to tell anybody because it makes you sound batshit crazy. If you have been, you're not batshit crazy. I think this is just a new gift manifesting. And I think that you're seeing what some of the trash bag people are that are out there, and you're seeing how their light is shit, and you're seeing very few of these yellow, beautiful lights in the world. It's all shit. And I think that's what's made you feel like you can't be happy right now, but you can be. It's a choice. You have fantastic things going on. You have fantastic people around you. You have fantastic souls around you. And I think it's just a matter of taking a step back from comparing yourself to other people or where you feel like you should be or not be or whatever. And taking a breather, taking a breath. That's what I'd recommend. I'd recommend just taking a step back for a minute. Like find yourself a place where you can sit and just be and just breathe and look at things in a different perspective. Look at things as if you were a friend looking in, not you looking out. I think you'll gain a whole new perspective for your life and where you're at. Things are not horrible. Things are actually pretty fantastic. All right, Miss Sarah Beard, you ready? So the first thing when I pulled your energy in, it's like my eyes got drawn down and then all of a sudden I got really tired. Like I just wanted to do this and just fall asleep. So that tells me that A, you've been giving in to other people way too much lately. You've been allowing other people's needs before your own. You've been running yourself ragged. You've been burning the candle at both ends because you're allowing other people's, like literally everyone else's priorities and energy and needs and wants and bullshit before your own. And it's exhausting your soul. It's exhausting your soul because that's the kind of tiredness I felt. It wasn't just like, man, you know, I've been working all day, I'm tired. No, it's not that. This is just like, I just want my soul to get some rest. Then I see irises, the flowers, big, like the bluey purple colored ones, the beautiful ones, not complete purple. You know what I'm talking about? Like they're this beautiful blue purple color. The next thing I see are little pink spheres like this. They almost look like gumballs. Like that's the first thing that came to my mind was gumballs. There's a few of them just kind of scattered around. So I would look up the color pink, what spheres, circles mean. I would say that there's four. There's four of them. So what the number 4 means. But let me say this. You've got to tell everybody to fuck off. You've got to put you first. You have to put you first because you're burning yourself out so much, so fast that it's going to cause you some major problems if you don't. Okay. Like major, major problems if you don't. So Miss Penny. So the first thing I saw with you when I exhaled was like this big pearl colored box, big pearl box. And as soon as I saw the box, it's like it went from being a solid box to just the outline of a box. And inside it's like this beautiful deep black. And I can see pinpricks like stars and such in there. It's like you're trying to put the whole universe in a box and make the universe structured and try to control things too much in the situation. And they just keep showing you that that is not the case. And that is not how the universe works. It's almost like the harder you try to make everything fit in this beautiful, glorious box, the more that it bleeds out behind and comes up. And it's like, no, 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 here I am. And I have a feeling that when I say this, this is going to be like the hardest thing in the world for you to do, but you need to let go of the need to control all of the situation. I understand that on a deep level. I used to have a big thing for being a control freak because so much was out of control that the more things got out of control, the more I tried to clamp down on things that I knew I could control. And the more I did that, the more other things got, it was just a never ending cycle until it got so bad that I just gave up. I mean, I just gave up. I just said, fuck it one day. And I just gave up and I quit worrying about everything. And that probably wasn't the right thing to do, but it showed me because when I stopped trying to control things, the universe went, oh, okay, well, shit. Let me rein this in a little bit. And I have a feeling that's what the universe is doing to you right now. You've got so much that's bleeding out, that's out of control, that you're trying to clamp down and put it in that box. Even though it's a beautiful, beautiful pearl box, you're trying to put it in the box. And so the universe is taking off the top and the bottom, and it's just bleeding out everywhere. So you're going to have to just let the box go. You're going to have to let the walls down. You know what I mean? Just let the sides of the box fall and watch what the universe does when you go, okay, I'm done. Not going to control it anymore. That right there, I think will fix so many things that you don't even realize are broken. So, Miss Michelle, you ready? So the first thing I saw with you is a parrot, but what's funny is it's bones. Even its tail is bones, even though that's feathers. It's like a cartoon of a parrot. It's all bones. So look up what the spiritual meaning of a parrot is. And then bones is usually, if you see something as bones, that's, I don't know if I would say death, because I don't think that is. I don't think it's the death of that symbolism. I think that it's you looking at the darker side of that symbolism. And what's funny is like when I see the parrot, it's looking over its shoulder, and it makes me laugh. Like it's funny. So I have a feeling that you have a very dark sense of humor. So I think when you look up the parrot and what, the kind of the darker meaning of that is, I think that is probably going to make you laugh. The next thing I see is ivy, and it's like coming, swirling all down here on the bottom. I still see the parrot up here, but this ivy, it's like swirling on the bottom. So look up, spiritual meaning of ivy. And then this beautiful cobalt blue behind it. So what this tells me, and when this just hit me, it made me really sad. You've gotten so used to trauma and pain and everyone shitting on you and using you, and oh, you're really mega over empathic. Okay. You've gotten so used to that you're comfortable with being bound up in the ivy. You're comfortable, you're at peace when like you see the dark humor in everything. Like you see the dark humor in everything. That tells me that you've had a really, really rough go of it, like pretty much your whole life. But really, over the last 4 years, the last 2 years have been horrible, one thing after another, to the point that at this point you expect it. And so the universe is giving it to you. But I will say this. Humor is a trauma response. The worst traumas make for some of the funniest motherfuckers. At the same time, you've got to stop allowing people to use you, and you've got to find a way to put a shield up between you and them when it comes to your empathic abilities. If not, you're going to end up shutting them completely off. And you don't want to do that. I know that you're like, oh, okay, that wouldn't be bad. It would be bad, because you have those gifts and those abilities for a reason. Okay. For a reason. So don't shut them off. Don't let them get shut down. Okay. The world needs empathic people for a reason. Those ripples that you make need to have that gift in them for a reason. Okay. Miss Chelsea Smart. All right, girly, you ready? That's weird. When I took that second breath in, it's like I smelled bleach. Cleaner, like cleaning out something, bleaching away something. And I smell it over here. I don't know if that makes sense. I smell it to my left. So this is spiritually. So it tells me that you're going through an intensive cleaning phase as far as yourself spiritually. You have literally gone a scorched earth policy, and you're bleaching everything. And you are also one of the reasons why I see why I didn't get to these readings before. Because if I had told you this before, you wouldn't have understood it and it wouldn't make the same impact as it does right now when you're listening to it. So you have completely gone scorched earth. I'm bleaching it all the way to the core kind of thing spiritually. Complete and utter reset. And I feel like what's funny is at first I wanted to tell you not to go too far with it, but as I started feeling it and smelling the bleach and wordsing through it, I feel like it's exactly what needs to happen right now. It's exactly what needs to happen right now. And I think it's happening unconsciously. I think that you're doing it unconsciously, subconsciously. You're not even planning to do it. It's just like suddenly you're cutting things off. You're cutting people off. You're cutting situations off. You're cutting ways of thinking off. You're cutting things you do off. Like just. You remember that game, Fruit Ninja? That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. And I think that it's absolutely warranted. I think it's absolutely warranted. And I think that I am not going to tell you to not do it. I am not going to tell you to not do it because I know that a lot of spiritual advisors and so on, and I put that in air quotes, and that was kind of wrong of me, but y'all know exactly what I'm saying. People have no fucking idea what they're doing. I don't have any idea what I'm doing, but I've been doing it a long time. At least I've been stumbling through it for a long time. And I've learned in doing this that you can't always hold back. You can't always hold back. Not only can you not always hold back, but sometimes that scorched earth policy is what has to happen, especially when it comes to cleansing spiritually. It has to happen. And I think that's exactly what has to happen with you right now, Chelsea. So embrace it. Embrace it. Okay. All right, Lisa. Thought I was going to yawn, but I didn't. So the first thing I saw with you is oranges. Like I see them just kind of rolling across the ground, across the table, right to left. The next thing is a beautiful yellow butterfly, and it's way up here to my right. I know that it's backwards on YouTube, but way up here to my right. And then I see a compass. And what's funny is the compass turned into like a star, one of those, like 4-pointed stars, like you would see in a space photo or a space painting or drawing or whatever. And it's funny, it's like the compass like laser focused into that star, like a pinpoint. So that tells me that, you know what, I'm not going to tell you. I want you to look it up. I want you to Google spiritual meaning of compass, spiritual meaning of star, and know that the compass goes to the star. It pinpoints to the star. And then the star turns green. It's not for me to translate that message for you. It's for me to give you the message, and for you to, you are that person that you need to see, hear, feel, think, etc. You need that epiphany. And that's exactly what this is for. So it's not, even though I could tell you, here's what all this means. It's not for me to tell you that. It's for you to see it with your own eyes. Read it with your own eyes. And I love you. And I'm proud of you. And it's okay to cry. And I can't wait for you. Sometimes I wish I could be a fly on the wall when some of you guys look up the things, and that way I could see your faces, because I already know what you're fixing to find out. And so I wish I could see your face and feel what you're feeling and so on. So, all right. Miss Kelley Allen, ready? So the first thing I saw with you was a swan with its wings upstretched like this. Usually you see a swan like this beautiful, peaceful thing, but I see the swan, I see the neck, and I see the bird, but the wings are upstretched. And those turned into hands, like praying kind of, but not praying, just together like this in a spiritual position. And then I see a leather book, and then I see a pink ribbon. So I see the leather book, And then I see the pink ribbon laying over here like this. And it kind of comes up and down and back around like that. So the leather book is blank. It's like an old weathered looking book. I don't think it's old, but I think it's made to look weathered. And it's laying on this beautiful black cloth, these two things together, this beautiful black. And then I'm being prompted to ask you why you haven't been journaling lately, why you haven't been writing your things down. You are that person that when you put something out through your fingers, when you're writing, that's pulling that trauma out. That's helping you to release that because you're letting it go. You're letting it go into the paper, which was a tree, which is grounding. You're letting it go. And you haven't been doing that lately. And I know that life gets too busy and we can't focus on some of those little things. And I totally understand. I totally understand. So that's the last thing I see is the fucking journal and that prompt to ask you why you haven't been doing that lately. So it makes me want to tell the universe like, hey, she's busy. But at the same time, I know that that's the exact moments when you need it the most. So I would recommend trying to find some time, even if you just have to find some time each week and then move it more. Does that make sense? You need to get back into doing that. And I know that seems like a very generic thing to tell someone, but that's what was helping you move forward, healing so much. And then I have this feeling like you've hit a plateau and you feel like you've started to backslide a little bit with your process, with your healing. Just because I kind of know you a little bit, like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've been back in all of those deep, deep feelings again. And you're like, wait, I thought I had worked through this. Now, it's not that those feelings aren't going to pop up from time to time because they absolutely are. But for some reason, this is lingering. It's because you need to get it out of your fingertips. You need to let it go. Okay. You need to get it back out. All right. I love you, sweet pea. And I know that you're an amazingly strong woman. And I know that I'm probably telling you things you already know, except for those channeled things that I saw. So just know that I'm always here. I'm always here if you need anything. Okay, Miss Kelley. I love you, sweet pea. All right, Miss Kathryn, we ready? So the first thing I saw with you was this big banner, and it's like tan, and it comes down. It's got the point at the bottom, you know, really ornate point or whatever. But it has this big red line down the middle, like somebody took a paintbrush and went, because it's even like got the sketchy. You know when you get the paint and it's really dark at the top, and then when you pull it down, it kind of makes that sketchy look. Like that's exactly what that looks like. And now there's gold tassels around the bottom. And then coffee, like just coffee beans. And then I saw steak. And no, I'm not hungry because I just ate steak and stuff like that. And that to me signifies a need to start shifting your diet and need to eat better. That's why I'm like, oh God, I don't want to say this because you're going to be like, what the fuck? Your body has shifted and changed lately. You're at the tail end of a metamorphosis right now. That's why things have been so different for you. So this is what sucks about spiritual awakenings. And this is what sucks about going on those different, like moving up, you know, through the ranks spiritually or whatever. Every time you do that, your body fucking shifts. And when that happens, like you've got to change your eating. You've got to change your eating. Now, I'm not saying, oh my God, you need to go vegetarian. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you need to shift how you eat. The things that you used to be able to tolerate, you can no longer tolerate. Like your body, I would bet that you've had some very weird cravings lately. And like, why am I just craving this? Like, this is all I want to eat. That's what you need to eat. If you're craving stuff, you need to follow those cravings, and not just because you're craving it, but because there's a reason you're craving it. Okay. your whole body, your whole taste, everything is shifted. And you need to make sure that you kind of are like, okay, all right, okay, all right, okay. And I'm just going to tell you, it's going to happen repeatedly as you're on this journey, and it sucks and it's stupid. But at the same time, it's kind of cool because you try new stuff that you've never tried before. Some of it sucks. Some of it is really good. What's up with this? I don't know if your anxiety is really bad or what, but it's almost like I feel like I need to take a deep breath all the time. Like it's not squeezing like anxiety. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if you're sick or something's going on up here, what's up here, but don't fuck around with that. Okay. Because usually whenever I'm channeling a message and I get something like that, I don't know if you're ignoring it and you're like, well, I'll deal with it later or whatever. But that's exactly what I feel like you're doing, is saying, well, it's nothing. It's fine. I'm fine. I'll deal with it later. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. Okay. Don't keep pushing it back. Okay. Don't keep pushing it back. Yeah. Okay. Well, that being said, you are my last one, Miss Kathryn. And so I'm going to close this out so we can get this uploaded and you guys can get the link sent to you. And I'm sorry it took so long. And thank you for waiting and being so patient.